Did you know that nearly half of young adults now choose alcohol-free options when socializing? Today, I'm excited to share the vibrant world of sophisticated mocktails, beverages that are transforming how we celebrate, connect, and enjoy flavor without the buzz. I'm CJ Sugita-Jackson, and this is the art of the spirit-free sips.
Step into the moment, let the world slow down. Yeah. Take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground. A cup of calm, a sip of peace. Let the worries of the day just start to release. Yeah. Mind, body, spirit in perfect flow. Sip by sip, let the good vibes grow. Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Welcome to Zentra Studios' Tranquility Lounge, the podcast, where ancient wisdom meets modern wellness. Join your host, CJ Sugita-Jackson, for daily rituals, holistic insights, and naturopathic strategies to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. So, steep your favorite brew, and let's begin one sip at a time.
Welcome to today's episode of Zencha Studios' Tranquility Lounge. I'm your host, CJ Sugita-Jackson, and today I'm excited to share a topic that's transforming gatherings, restaurants, and home entertaining across the globe. The art of the spirit-free sips, why mocktails matter more than ever. Whether you're sober curious, a designated driver, pregnant, health conscious, or simply looking to expand your palate beyond alcoholic options, today's episode is for everyone who believes celebration and sophisticated flavors don't have to come with a proof level. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll explore the mocktail movement, unpack industry trends, discover what elevates a simple tea or juice into a sophisticated mocktail experience, and I'll even share some insider techniques from my own tea and mixology background. We'll also discuss why these alcohol-free options matter on a deeper cultural and emotional level. So grab your favorite glass, maybe even mix up something refreshing to sip on during our chat, and let's embark on this flavorful journey together.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
The term mocktail might sound like a modern invention, but the concept of non-alcoholic mixed drinks has been around for generations. What's changed is our approach, appreciation, and the artistry behind these beverages. When I first started exploring mocktails, they were often an afterthought on restaurant menus, usually a virgin version of an existing cocktail with the alcohol removed. But what was left? It was often an unbalanced, overly sweet concoction that felt like a compromise rather than a choice. Even the very word mocktail makes some bartenders cringe due to this ridiculously sweet beverage concept. So let's reclaim the word mocktail to mean something more. Today, we're witnessing nothing short of a revolution. The mocktail movement represents a fundamental shift in how we think about celebratory beverages. Modern mocktails are crafted with the same care, creativity, and complexity as their alcoholic counterparts, sometimes even more so, because without alcohol as a flavor foundation, every other ingredient needs to pull its weight. This is a movement about inclusivity at the table. It's about recognizing that everyone deserves a special drink experience, regardless of whether they're consuming alcohol. And importantly, It's about elevating non-alcoholic beverages to an art form worthy of the same respect as wine, craft beer, or cocktails. What fascinates me is how this movement has expanded beyond metropolitan areas and trendy establishments. I have seen dedicated mocktail menus in small-town restaurants, sophisticated non-alcoholic options at wedding receptions, and entire social media accounts devoted to spirit-free creations. This is not a passing trend. It's a permanent expansion of our beverage culture that acknowledges changing attitudes toward alcohol consumption and celebrates the incredible flavor and health possibilities that exist without spirits.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Let's talk about numbers and trends because they tell a fascinating story about where we're headed with mocktails. According to recent industry reports, the global non-alcoholic beverage market is projected to reach nearly $1.7 trillion by 2028, with premium mocktails and spirit alternatives leading much of that growth. Nearly 35% of adults in the U.S. regularly choose non-alcoholic options when dining out or socializing, a number that jumps to nearly 45% among millennials and Gen Z. What's driving this shift, though? It's multiple factors that are converging. The wellness movement, changing social attitudes about alcohol, and a generation of consumers who prioritize experiences and flavor over intoxication. We are also seeing major innovations in the beverage industry. Non-alcoholic spirit alternatives that mimic the complexity and mouthfeel of traditional spirits have exploded onto the market. Brands like Seedlip pioneered this space, creating distilled, non-alcoholic products specifically designed for sophisticated mocktails. Now we have dozens of options that mimic everything from gin to whiskey without the alcohol content. But a lot of them lack the punch of flavor necessary for a good mocktail and are typically overly priced. Botanical infusions are having a moment too. Ingredients like lavender, rosemary, and cardamom that were once reserved for high-end cocktail bars are now staples in home mocktail recipes. As a tea master, I have personally developed over 190 tea and botanical-based mocktails that could stand up to any cocktail of a similar flavor profile. The rise of specialized syrups, bitters, and tinctures gives mocktail creators an ever-expanding palette of flavors. What I find particularly interesting is how beverage culture itself is adapting. Bars are hiring dedicated non-alcoholic beverage directors. Cocktail competitions now frequently include mocktail categories, and beverage pairing menus at fine dining establishments often feature non-alcoholic options alongside wine pairings. This shift represents a maturation of our collective palate, a recognition that complexity, balance, and thoughtfulness in beverages doesn't require alcohol, and restaurants are noticing that offering sophisticated mocktails isn't just inclusive, it's good business. Non-alcoholic beverages typically have higher profit margins than alcoholic ones, creating a win-win for the establishments and their customers.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
So what exactly elevates a simple tea, juice, or soda into a sophisticated mocktail? This is where the art and science of mixology truly shine, even without alcohol in the equation. First and foremost, a great mocktail follows similar principles to a great cocktail: balance, complexity, and thoughtful presentation. Let me break these down. Balance is about harmonizing sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami elements. Without alcohol's natural bite and warmth, finding this balance requires careful attention. Too many mocktails fail because they lean too heavily on sweetness. A sophisticated mocktail will incorporate acidity through citrus, vinegars, or verjus, bitterness through gentian or tea, and potentially even savory elements through herbs or salt. Complexity comes from layering flavors and creating depth. This might mean using techniques like infusion, where you extract flavor compounds from botanicals into a base liquid, or a reduction, concentrating flavors by simmering ingredients. Fermentation is another fantastic approach. Think kombucha or water kefir, adding fascinating complexity without alcohol or very little alcohol. A defining characteristic of sophisticated mocktails is mouthfeel. This is the textural experience of the drink, and it's particularly important when creating alcohol-free beverages, since alcohol provides a distinctive sensation on the palate. Creative mixologists address this through ingredients like egg whites for frothiness, coconut cream for richness, or even specialty products like glycerin-based bitters that add viscosity. Aromatics also play a crucial role here too. Our sense of smell dramatically impacts flavor perception, which is why garnishes aren't just decorative but functional. A sprig of rosemary that's been lightly bruised, or a mist of citrus oil expressed from the peel, even a smoking cinnamon stick, can transform the entire experience of a mocktail. Temperature and dilution are equally important considerations. Just like with traditional cocktails, mocktails need the right level of chill and water content. This might mean that proper shaking or stirring techniques or specialty ice treatments like large format cubes for slower dilution or crushed ice for faster cooling. Finally, presentation elevates the entire experience. The right glassware, thoughtful garnishes, and even the name of the drink all contribute to the perception and enjoyment. A sophisticated mocktail deserves the same visual appeal and presentation rituals as any premium cocktail. The most successful mocktails aren't trying to imitate any alcoholic drinks. They're standalone creations that celebrate their alcohol-free nature while providing a complex, satisfying experience.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. Taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Now, let's peek behind the curtain and talk about the practical side of crafting exceptional mocktails. Whether you're a home enthusiast or professional bartender, these principles will help elevate your spirit-free creations. Every great mocktail starts with quality foundations. While alcoholic cocktails often build around spirits, mocktails typically rely on one of several base categories. Fruit and vegetable juices provide vibrant flavors and colors, but need careful balance to avoid excessive sweetness. Fresh pressed is always preferable to commercial options, which often contain added sugars or preservatives. Tea and coffee make excellent bases, offering complexity, tannins, and sometimes a caffeine kick. Cold brew coffee, chai concentrates, or delicate white teas each bring unique characteristics to mocktails. These are my favorites to use in my mocktail bases. Herbs and botanicals infused into water or simple syrup creates fragrant foundations. Think lemongrass, mint, basil, or cardamom, all offering aromatic compounds that make mocktails memorable. Fermented bases like kombucha, water kefir, or even non-alcoholic beer provide interesting complexity through natural fermentation processes without significant alcohol content. Once you've selected your base, building complexity becomes critical. Here are some techniques I regularly employ. Layering complementary flavors. For example, pairing ginger with lime and mint creates multiple flavor dimensions that unfold as you sip. Creating flavor syrups by simmering herbs, spices, or fruit with sugar and water. These concentrated flavors can be precisely dosed into your creation. Using specialty modifiers like shrubs, which are drinking vinegars, add both acidity and fruit flavor, or bitters, which add complex botanical notes in just a few drops. Equipment matters too. While you don't need an entire bar setup, a few essentials make mocktail creation much easier. A quality shaker for aeration and chilling, a fine mesh strainer for those smooth textures, a muddler for extracting flavors from herbs and fruits, and jiggers for precise measurements. Let me walk you through a simple but sophisticated mocktail you can make at home, one of my favorites that I call the garden refresher. Start with 2 ounces of white peach tea, 2 ounces of cucumber juice, which is simply cucumbers blended and strained fresh. Add 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice, 1/2 ounce of rosemary-infused simple syrup, 2 dashes of non-alcoholic aromatic bitters. Top it with 1 ounce of quality tonic water, or you can use sparkling water for the effervescence. Shake the first 5 ingredients with ice. Strain into an ice-filled highball glass, top with tonic or seltzer water, and garnish with a cucumber ribbon and rosemary sprig. What makes this drink sophisticated is the layering soft fruit notes of the white peach tea, vegetal notes from cucumber, brightness from lime, aromatic complexity from rosemary, botanical depth from bitters, and the bite from the tonic. Each element serves a purpose, creating a well-rounded experience. The key to successful mocktail making is precision, quality ingredients, and understanding flavor combinations. The same foundations that make any great mixed drink, alcoholic or not. If you're just starting out on your mocktail journey, I highly recommend getting the Flavor Bible by Andrew Dornenberg. This will help you develop some beautifully complex flavors for unique mocktails.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Beyond the glasses, garnishes, and recipes lies something more profound: the cultural and emotional significance of mocktails in our social fabric. For generations, alcoholic drinkers have been central to how we celebrate, connect, and commemorate important moments. This has unintentionally marginalized those who don't drink alcohol, whether for health reasons, religious beliefs, recovery from addiction, pregnancy, or just personal preference. When someone opts out of alcohol at a gathering, they've traditionally been left with uninspiring options: water, soda, iced teas, or overly sweet fruit juices. This creates an implicit divide where non-drinkers can feel excluded from the ritual and celebration aspects of shared beverages. The mocktail movement is fundamentally about inclusion. It's about ensuring everyone at the table has access to a special, thoughtfully crafted beverage experience. It's about recognizing that celebration shouldn't require alcohol consumption. There's also an important emotional dimension. Many people associate special beverages with milestone moments: toasting at weddings, raising a glass at achievements, or sharing drinks during holidays. Sophisticated mocktails ensure that everyone can participate in these emotional rituals without compromise. Culturally, the rise of mocktails reflects broader shifts in our relationship with alcohol. Younger generations are drinking less than their predecessors, with studies showing nearly 30% of Gen Z identifying as non-drinkers, compared to just 12% of baby boomers. This isn't merely abstention, it represents a more thoughtful, intentional approach to consumption in general. The Sober Curious movement has further accelerated this trend, with people exploring periods of alcohol abstention like dry January, or adopting more moderate, occasional drinking habits like those that alternate from alcohol to non-alcoholic drinks, which we call zebra striping. Mocktails provide a bridge that makes these lifestyle choices more accessible and enjoyable. For restaurants and hosts, embracing sophisticated mocktails signals respect for all guests regardless of drinking preferences. It acknowledges that hospitality means meeting people where they are, not where tradition dictates they should be. At its core, the mocktail renaissance represents something beautifully human. Our capacity to reimagine traditions while preserving their underlying purpose of connection, celebration, and shared experience.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
There's yet another dimension to mocktails that extends beyond taste and social inclusion: their potential role in healing and well-being. This aspect is particularly meaningful to me and many others in the beverage community, as I have had my share of alcoholics in my life. For those in recovery from alcohol dependency, sophisticated mocktails offer a pathway to participate in social rituals without triggering substances. They provide the ceremony and special experience of a crafted beverage while supporting sobriety journeys. I've had the privilege of creating mocktail menus for recovery events, and the gratitude from participants is profound. Many describe how having elegant, complex beverage options makes them feel seen and respected rather than defined by what they're avoiding. Beyond recovery, mocktails can align with various healing traditions. Throughout history, cultures worldwide have crafted medicinal beverages using herbs, fruits, and botanicals for their health properties. Modern mocktails often draw on these traditions, incorporating ingredients like ginger for digestion, hibiscus for antioxidants, or chamomile for relaxation. The mindfulness aspect shouldn't be overlooked either. When we remove alcohol's effects from the equation, we can be fully present for the experiences. A sophisticated mocktail encourages savoring, noticing subtle flavors, and engaging completely with both the beverage and the surrounding social experience. There's also growing interest in adaptogens and functional ingredients in mocktails. Substances like ashwagandha, reishi mushrooms, or even THC and CBD that may offer stress-relieving or mood-enhancing properties without intoxication. While the science continues to evolve in this area, the concept of beverages that potentially support emotional and physical well-being is quite compelling. For many people, the healing aspect of mocktails is simply about redefining their relationship with celebratory beverages, discovering that relaxation, social connection, and ritual enjoyment don't require alcohol. This revelation can be very transformative, opening doors to new ways of experiencing gatherings and special moments. I've witnessed countless people express surprise at how much they don't miss alcohol when provided with thoughtful, complex alternatives. This discovery often prompts reflection about habits, preferences, and authentic enjoyment versus cultural conditioning. In this way, The mocktail movement is about reclaiming choice and intention in how we celebrate, commune, and care for others.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
As we wrap up today's exploration of the mocktail world, I'd love to invite you to take this conversation beyond just listening and into your own life and kitchen. First, I encourage you to try crafting one of my signature mocktail recipes that I've shared on my social media platforms and website at www.cjsugita-Jackson.com. There, you'll find detailed instructions, ingredient lists, and tips for creating beverages that will impress your friends and family, whether they typically drink alcohol or not. By joining my mailing list on my website, you can download one of my sample mocktail recipe books with 12 uniquely flavored mocktails. If you're hosting a gathering soon, consider offering a dedicated mocktail option beyond the usual soda and juice. Notice how guests who don't drink alcohol react to having a thoughtful, sophisticated option available. Even better, make it a feature of your event with a DIY mocktail bar where guests can experiment with different flavor combinations. I also invite you to rethink your own relationship with alcoholic beverages during celebrations. This isn't about abstinence unless that is your preference. It's about expanding options and making intentional choices. Perhaps alternate between alcoholic and non-alcoholic options at your next event, or designate certain gatherings as spirit-free to experience the difference. For those in the hospitality industry listening, I challenge you to elevate your non-alcoholic menu items with the same care you give to your wine list or cocktail programs. Your customers will notice and appreciate this inclusivity. And finally, keep an eye out for one of my upcoming mocktail books, The Global Elixir, 50 Sophisticated Tea-Based Mocktails, where I explore how tea, one of the world's most complex and varied ingredients, can form the foundation for incredible spirit-free beverages inspired by global traditions.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
As we close today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. The beverage renaissance we're experiencing isn't just what's in our glasses. It's about creating spaces and experiences where everyone feels welcomed and valued. When we expand our definition of celebration beyond alcohol, we make room for more people to fully participate in life's precious moments of connection. Whether you're sober for life, sober for now, sober sometimes, or simply curious about expanding your palate, I hope today's conversation has inspired you to explore the vibrant world of spirit-free sips. Thank you for joining me today. I'm CJ Sugita-Jackson with Zen Cha Studios Tranquility Lounge. And until next time, may your glasses be full of flavor, your gatherings inclusive, and your experiences rich with or without spirits.
Thank you for joining CJ in today's episode of Zen Cha Studios Tranquility Lounge podcast. Connect with our Zen Cha Studios community on Facebook, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, YouTube, or on our website. The information in this episode is not meant to be used as medical advice. Please seek professional guidance with your health needs. This episode of Tranquility Lounge podcast is copyright by CJ Sugita-Jackson and Zen Cha Studios. All rights reserved.
Sip by sip, let the good vibes grow. Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun.